Thank you so much, Chris. We hope that we can provide you with a solid show. Jay, time is running out. We're in week 2 of our Major V Qualifiers, and that really feels like the theme of this series. Time is running out. If one of these teams, or rather who ends up losing this matchup, will not be at champs, that is on the line. Also, we're even thinking about the future season, 2024. We very well could not see these names moving into next season. Still, very much so, a lot to play for.
Yeah, but you said time is almost out of line. It's gone already. Time is gone.
It's right.
Yeah, it's done. The only thing that they have is if Minnesota lose every single match from here on out, because they are currently sitting at A spot with 160. You have London, who are at 60 points. You have LAG, who are at 70 points. The maximum you can get right now, if you go flawless throughout the stage, on one side it's 95, on the other side it's 105. So you just got to pray to the gods that Minnesota Røkkr do not see another W. But for both of these teams, man, not really thinking about champs. It's all about performing at Major V. That's going to be your last hurrah as a set roster for both of these organizations. And you just want to leave a good taste in people's mouths going into next year, man. You really did not have the best season so far, and it showed when you look at both of these guys standing throughout the entire season. It's just all about trying to make a name for yourself, trying to solidify a 48th, one of the 48 players going into next year.
Yeah, exactly. Like we said, there is still a lot to play for when it comes down to next season. Even just like I said, where your stock sits amongst the community, a lot is on the line when we talk about that as well. But in to our first hard point, we'll start things off on Fortress. It is LAG. Really off the rip with some fiery plays coming in from Joe to Thieves. To the top side he goes.
Okay.
Lovely 3-0 for him.
Okay, young man. Have yourself a moment early into this hard point, and you see what he's doing right now, just simply staying alive in this position. Unfortunately, the backup from Asim, while he's reloading his weapon, allows him to get that kill, but still the Guerrillas in control of P1. Good chunk of time. London, they're finally able to break their way back in, but the most important thing has to be that rotation over towards P2. And now with Joe Thieves in his position, he's going to be able to win that rotation for his team.
You can just tell, man, Joe Thieves coming out with some fire. Especially the pace has absolutely been increased. He versus Yuli, longtime players when it comes down to the amateur scene trying to battle their way forward. Ends up taking him down. And so with that, LAG now are racking up the seconds. Joe Thieves, despite one a little unfortunate death, he has been really the beacon of hope so far for the Guerrillas. Time still going their way. However, here comes Ravens, current 3v2.
Yeah, Ravens are pitching from every single angle, but you might not want to decide to put the pressure towards the back end at this time remaining in the hill, because with 35 seconds left, if you're the Guerrillas, all you have to do is contest it from the front, because you know you're going to win that rotation over towards P3. So this might be a turning point in the game where London have to try to fight back slowly but surely, as Scrapz is able to find 2. Final 20 should be theirs, but the Guerrillas are going to be thinking about that rotation. They're already at the next.
Yeah, this is a huge 3-man wave right now from the Ravens. 3 strong as Yuli making sure the P1 is clear, trying to pretty much eliminate the forces, eliminate the reinforcements from the Guerrillas. That's really going to be step number 1. They've done that. Now step number 2 is getting these players out of the point. Unsuccessful in doing that. Squad spawns are there. LAG, plenty of control now.
And usually for both of these squads, the stats are horrible when it comes to hold percentage, when it comes to break percentage, even the rotation percentage. The only one that has something positive on this map is the London Royal Ravens. They're actually second in rotation win percentage, but it hasn't shown so far, as the Guerrillas have been able to out-rotate them the last couple of hills and now have this nice little 32-point lead. But all out pressure through the front. You allow your teammates to pitch from the back. London find the break with the final 30.
And that's a huge break. Entirely wanted that for the Ravens, Jay. I mean, this could be a very, very lopsided scoreline had Ravens not broken at that exact moment. However, they're able to do so. Nastie and the boys trying to get things going. He really feels like the player to watch as he gets quickly erased. Nice little drop shot coming in from Exceed, but plenty of players to look out for. But it feels like lately on Fortress, lately in respawns, Jay, for the Ravens, Nastie has been that guy.
Yeah, Nastie's simply that guy. Ever since he makes that role change, he's been getting a lot more comfortable with that AR in hand for the last couple of stages, and it's been showing a lot recently. But London, they do a great job getting themselves back into the game off the rotation. They're going to put a lot of pressure over towards stage. Yuli starts with the first kill. So now only 3 players here from the Guerrillas. You have to try to clutch up in these gunfights.
Big ones indeed. Asim trying to lead the charge, able to drop Assault for the first, and there are quickly kills being found pretty much everywhere. A timely 3 at that. Ravens once more for the break, and like we said, man, it's been breaks, but it's been breaks with plenty of time left. LAG early, Ravens late as Yuli tries to erupt toward the back. He eventually falls. Guerrillas not giving this one up.
Yeah, Guerrillas aren't giving this one up, and that's 3 dead. Last player on the top is going to be Nastie. He's doing it with the SMG in his hand. His teammates do get a couple close spawns towards top stage. So potentially a tie game going in towards the P5 hard point. And the Guerrillas, they're spawning on the back foot. You got 2 players spawning over towards P1, a couple players towards back P3. Should allow the Ravens to get fully set up as Asim is going to potentially hit this flank. He decides not to. He knows that his teammates are going to spawn there. All of the Guerrillas are going to try to break from the front.
See if that strategy can work out for them. I was going to say Assault and Thieves trying to make their way up, and the bottom and top cannon trying to get some solid team shots inbound. However, not going to happen. Ravens now with the lead in their favor. Nobody actually happens to be inside of the hard point. Why? Because, well, LIG are doing everything that they want. Exceed. Another timely drop shot. This time it is going to be on to Asim. He has handed a few interesting gunfights over to the Ravens so far, but very neck and neck game so far, Jay. What we wanted to see between both of these teams nice and early.
Yeah, I'm expecting this series to go game 5. Like, that's just what it is. We got the 11 seed going up against the 12 seed. They're playing some maps that neither team is super starry on. But so far to this map, number 1, the Guerrillas at the end of the P5 hard point find themselves up by 20 points. But the Ravens so far are setting themselves up properly for that P-bummer with 3 going down. Spawns are now going to flip. LAG are in control.
Yeah, they very much so are. However, every kill that Nastie ends up finding mitigates what really the Guerrillas are attempting to do. And what turned from a wonderful position here for LAG now is completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, that's not what you want to happen right there in that situation. At least RCD is able to find a couple kills. You still have a couple players roaming around through Art. You know that London had to slow down their game because they do not want to flip these spawns in this moment. Such a crucial moment that could turn the game on its head as the Guerrillas still are soaking a lot of these people on time. Even though they're getting the bad spawns, London are thinking a step ahead. They need to be able to chain that P2 to the P3.
Talk about what this hard point means really for both of these rosters. Ravens struggling in HP lately. That has pretty much been their game mode so far throughout the season. Not a ton of success on any of them, but hard point has really been their beacon of success. And then on the opposite side, man, LAG, 10-game losing spree. You want to get off to a hot start in a series like this one. In fact, let's actually test out and see how the comms are sounding with the boys who are trying to end the streak. A check-in with the Guerrillas.
Go back storm to this.
18, I'm waiting front. Below P4. Back 18.
18 dead. One more
below you. I think P5.
He's waiting back. Low Joe.
I spawn P5. Go. Spawn P1. I don't know where he is. Bench corner. He's really weak.
Too close fast. Got up. One shot.
Goes weak as fuck. You're gonna help him out. I need it open. Okay, go.
Open. I have windows.
I think Art.
I'm on. Yeah, could be. Open corner weak.
I'm on top windows.
Open corner.
Gates back up. Gate back up.
Close and open.
Circle. Close that.
Open Nastie.
Open. I'm gonna go top map. I'm trying it. Map stock. I don't see him. One's P1. I'm one shot. P1 weak. I'm wrapping frame on him. I need him. Watch out. Kenny. He's dead. I hit him too. Bridget.
P1 dead.
He's dead. Nice shot. Hit some of the other. Those guys both spawned out by the way. I'm gonna go top maps. Let's go front. I'm going top maps.
I gotta say, Jay, I like what I'm hearing. I mean, at least based off of just the emotion, the hype, the vigor that these boys are experiencing as they just break in really toward the fountain side. This does not sound like a team that's on a 10-game losing spree.
It definitely does not. The only thing that threw me off a little bit is how much everyone is actually calming. It's the reassure. Just saying the same calm twice. So it's back-to-back 2 people P1. Definitely still P1. And it was clogging a little bit in the comms, but these guys are not worried about it. They have been able to break into the P3, get a good chunk of time off of that P2, and blow this game now wide open. Currently up by almost 70 points. London find a couple kills. They're able to get the final 20, but the Guerrillas did exactly what they needed to do to basically call game.
Yeah, you're seeing a great performance across the board statistically as well. I know Exceed in the process ends up earning that cruise missile. You got Aristides, who's pretty much at even right now. Thieves, who really off the start of this game, Jay, made some massive swings, breaking hills early. Like, you can definitely tell for the Guerrillas, it feels like it's been a team effort so far for the roster. A lot of eyes, especially on the captain of the Guerrillas, and Alec. Obviously had a rough season up to this point, trying to turn things around. He has been the difference maker on Fortress HP, but as we said, a team effort is what could be the final defining hard points of the game. LAG currently with control of cannons.
Yeah, but it's an all-out scrap into Art. Couple players from London trying to find an opening, trying to find the timing. So when they can attack Josie's towards top rails, because he's just been cutting them down all map long. Finally, Asim was able to take down two, takes a little bit of map control in towards Art, keep the Guerrillas off of the point. But all you have to do is just keep on trading. Only 45 seconds to Guerrillas take map 1.
Yeah, the Ravens just continue to get wiped away. You got Nastie and Asim, the closest players here. Can they make a dent? Can it make something happen? Assault goes low. Give him 6 in a row, as he also is going to have a cruise missile. Plenty of artillery to work with. Now, if you are LAG, and this is a great hard point where you can use it out in the open. We'll see if Assault and or Exceed look to get nice and dicey as they are within 25 and calling that one theirs.
Yeah, and Arseny's off the rotation. He sat himself into stable corner. He was able to catch 2 players from London and would look like to be a free London rotation. Arseny simply shuts it down, and now he's soaking up the time. That's another 3 ending in the feed. Spawns do flip, but if you're the Guerrillas, who cares? Only 11 seconds until you take map 1.
That's exactly right. It's like, you know what, Spawns, who really cares? For the Guerrillas, you're thinking, hey, we've got some streaks. We've only got 10 seconds left. Let's not throw this away. We can definitely do it on our time, on our dime. As the cruise missile comes in, only information. Ravens hanging on by a thread.
It's just a matter of moments until the Guerrillas are able to close this one out. 3 go down in the feed, though, for the Ravens. It's able to keep them trapped towards the back of that P3 hard point. Currently down by almost 100. Got to chain it over towards P1. Exceed is going to invest that cruise missile, use it to gain the information for his teammates. But when they want to apply the pressure, Jodeci's find the first, Assault finds the second. This might be the moment.
Yeah, this should be their opening right here. LAG trying to use that streak timely. They know that someone's going to be in the point. Arseny's trying to deal with a lot. However, his teammates continue to fall. But all it takes is 11 more seconds. Brought down low. Trophy out. It's Exceed covering the way for Alec. Just hop in the hard point, buddy. Hop in the hard point, my captain. 5 seconds to go. Can LAG lock it up here, or will Ravens have one more answer? That is it. Game 1 in the books.
LAG just came on, did exactly what they needed to do. You win a couple of key rotations versus a team who loves that rotation fight on Fortress. But when you're controlling some of the money hills, controlling the map the way that you were, chaining the P2 to the P3, that's the scoreline that you're going to see at the very end of the game. The Guerrillas so far in the season have been statistically one of the worst teams at Fortress. But when you allow the SMGs to start off hot, your ARs to set up in these power positions, to early rotate, tuck themselves into corners, that's the scoreline you're going to be able to see at the very end as the Guerrillas come out 250 to 152, dominate off the rotations, and dominate in map number 1.
Yeah, I know we could point out a lot of players, Jay, for LAG. Obviously, we talked about it. We highlighted Exceed. We highlighted Arseny's. Those guys, obviously, ended up making some major waves at certain points throughout the game. But Thieves, man, start to finish, 35 and 21, nearly 4K damage for the later stages of the game. Also got some hill time, nearly a minute in that. I mean, I know he has that unfortunate death, like top cannons off the rip, where I think it was Asim who ends up turning on him. But other than that, he was a rock star here in game 1.
Oh yeah, without question, man. And if this is the young rookie that's trying to cement his name going into the next season, he's been stepping up ever since he's gotten a lot more comfortable alongside his teammates. But when he's just in that zone, in that flow state, like people like to say, it's very hard to shut this guy down. He was hip firing alongside Exceed, who was picking up 2-piece when it was needed to. But his team was just in control from start to finish. And when you're the team that's controlling the spawns, forcing the players to run at you while you're holding the pre-aims, holding down these head glitches, that's where you're going to see a little bit of stat padding as the Guerrillas were just in control from start to finish. Now you just got to take that into the search and destroy, man, because you can just tell momentum is heavily on their side.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, like we said, whether it was the early plays from Thieves, you just feel like the Ravens were like constantly in like the back mirror. Like they just really couldn't get a whole lot going. Obviously, we see the scoreline there. 250 to 152 is how it locks up. But it just felt like LAG were always getting the first bit of time. Like anytime that the Ravens were getting seconds, Jay, it just felt like it was them getting a heroic break where they got the final 20, final 30 seconds. That'll work from time to time, but as the game goes on, you have to adapt. You have to be the team that ends up out-rotating, getting those solid setups. Just felt like they were never really able to put anything together. So 100-point lead and win here for LAG as they answer early. A much-needed opening HP win for them. And now for the Ravens heading into this search and destroy. It is going to be 5 straight hardpoint losses, hoping to end that spree if we can get to a hotel hardpoint, which is going to be their focus. But we got to stay over at Fortress Search and Destroy for game 2. What can you tell us about this map and Moj for both of these teams? How has it been looking throughout the season?
It's basically a mirror for both of these squads. 4 and 3 on one side for London, 3 and 4 for LAG. The biggest thing that stands out on the side of London is that they're horrible at finding first bloods. On a map like Fortress, where the chaos can instantly be bestowed upon you, when you're instantly into those gunfights, you can't be the team that drops early. But at least the good thing for them is that they're going up against the Guerrillas, the team that allows the most bomb plants on Fortress S&D. So if you are London, just get that bomb down, stay in the 4v4, and just simply put yourself in the best setup possible. That's your way to, that's your key to success in this map.
And it's interesting too, because like you said, London are always a team that's like, going to allow for that plant to happen. At the start of the year, like whenever the Academy roster ended up forming, I think it was LAG who ended up like playing the bomb down like every single time.
Every time.
I think also like when we look at the stats, kind of go over everything. I think they're also like one of the best teams at like post plant or they're just getting the bomb down effectively. So like for LAG, that has got to make you very excited. I'm sure the coaching staff, analysts as well, are going to make that one a big point. Get the bomb down. You boys love to do it. Ravens are oftentimes going to allow for you to do it. We'll see if that could be a difference maker here in Fortress. But in need of an answer are the Ravens. Cannot afford to go down 0-2. And Jay, I know lately for the Ravens, they've been losing quite a few series in a 3-0. I think it's back-to-back losses in 3-0 fashion, both versus Minnesota. You had their last series at the Røkkr home series, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that one was tough. I remember in that series, we saw Bance hit him with a 3-piece nade on a Mercado S&D. Nothing has been going right for the Ravens, except for this matchup versus the Guerrillas. 2-0 versus them on the season.
That's true.
And it usually comes by winning those hard points. They fall short in that map number 1. This is where they have to respond into this search and destroy. One thing that really stood out to me though, that London have to be prepared for, is the pressure that the Guerrillas love to apply towards B. There's only 3 teams throughout the entire CDL who plant that bomb over towards B over 10% of the time. The Guerrillas being one of them. So if you are the Ravens, you gotta be ready for that aggressive B push.
There you see the streak, 10 series in a row. The Guerrillas have lost, starting things off with a nice 1-0. And boy, would it do so much to the mental of all 4 of these players, to the staff as well, to see a W pop up today. But all of it starts here on Fortress Search Destroy, trying to go up 2-0. So far, Jay, no one dead in Assault. He's enjoying a nice little ride on the horsey.
Yeah. No trophies to work with, so teams are not going to be that aggressive, trying to time these teammates to get some information off the players playing over towards A. But once LAG invests in those tacks, they know that they can't apply the pressure through the front. They try to go through the back. Scrapz finds one. The trade is there, 3v3, but bomb is getting planted.
Good awareness there. Scrapz ends up getting all the info, knowing that everybody's toward the bottom side. So let's plant down that bomb. Sit stationary. Show to Thieves. How about the beams? Taking the head clean off there of Nastie. Asim also going for a jaunt, ends up falling, and now it is all down to the rookie. Huke left to defend a site. Gets some free bullets there onto the first. A tad aggressive, ends up falling. LAG do what they need, catch some stragglers, and a lovely little ace coming in from Thieves. I thought he actually got some assistance on a few, but no, he gets every kill.
Oh man, that guy's fired. He said, Fortress back-to-back maps, this is my playground. So he dominates the map number 1 and finds an ace in round number 1 into the S&D. Guerrillas, I love their setup right there. You use your teammates to get the information just in case they try to go for an aggressive bomb plant. And then when you don't commit just 1 player on the flank or 2 players, you send every player. So when you find Scrap in that situation, the trade is going to be there. You know that the rest of the players from London are no longer in art, so Thieves has the free roams to roam around, and he's able to find all 4 kills. So Guerrillas take round 1, all on the back of Mr. Thieves.
See if he can continue to put up some incredible numbers as we are instantly into the 3v3. Arshney's Huke both out of the play, but Guerrillas right now full control over the site. Scrapz the nearest player, trying to cause a bit of a stir. Asim also trying to make his way through cannons, as now it is all on to the retake.
Scrapz gonna invest that dead silence. His teammates are pushing in towards Art. Asim does not have any deady though, as Exceed is able to take down Nastie 3v2 with players from every single angle. The Guerrillas have this covered. This is a lockup.
Another 1v3. Last time it was the Røkkr and Huke. Now it is the veteran in Asim. 20 seconds to go. Obviously knows where one player is, but surely not enough time. It would be one of the crazier plays this season. Asim, in the final moments, ends up getting taken down 2 clean rounds here from the Guerrillas.
Yeah, Guerrillas right there with the perfect game plan in this early attacking round. You show presence over towards A, you trade back and forth the first blood, but once you get that bomb down, you know that the players from the Ravens, the only opportunity they have to retake is pushing their way into Art. Once Exceed is able to win his one-on-one, no hesitation on the flank, jumps out through single arch, puts himself through open, and then at that point, there's only one player left, and he's in Art, and every single player from LAG has their line of sight on towards the bomb. That was just a perfect, aggressive play right there from the Guerrillas.
About the start? Okay, well, not from the Ravens. Elite teammate onto Nastie. I was going to point out that it was round 1, ace for Joe Thieves, and round 2, ace for Exceed. So the rookie's definitely having a wonderful moment, but for the Guerrillas, Elite going to have to turn that around. But we'll see what he can do. Taking out a teammate off the rip is never what you want to see, but maybe if he can find an ace, all things would be solid. All things would be good. But in round 3 we go. Much needed one from the Ravens. We'll see if they can find a very crucial second kill.
Oh, but unfortunately, Asim does not check the deep corner. RCD is able to take him down. I don't know if he gains the information of the bomb being down. But now you know where Scrapz is, and now with Yuli picking up that kill, you know where the other player is as well. 2v2. RC's in a great position to find this one.
Oh, come here, Scrapz. Come here. Takes him down. Yuli instantly with dead silence. Knows that Arshties is at P1. He's going to hopefully be ready for multiple players to be here. He's also got Exceed in his sights. There's one. There is 2. Yuli, as we said, a team kill off the rip, but makes good on it. A 1v2, as it is a rookie showcase so far here on Fortress S&D.
So does that technically count as an ace? Is that 3 aces in a row?
It might be.
Gotta take a look back at this nade. Unfortunately, it knocks off the building, hits Nastie right in the forehead. But Yuli makes up for it by finding 5 kills on a round, including his teammate. What a round right there to the Ravens, more specifically Yuli, on taking over to finally get one on the board. Okay,
well, who's up next? The rookies are like, got it coming out to play. What do we think, Jay? Who's going to come up with the ace this time? Give me somebody.
I think it's Assault. Let's go, Assault. Adam, you got this.
Let's see what you got, Mr. Garcia. Oh, Scrapz, bringing it the big boy off the rip. Spots a shoulder. Be a calf and elbow of Arcides. Still yet to take him down. Joe Thieves on the bomb.
Suck him.
Scrapz just, it's just a hit him. I thought for a moment it wasn't going to land. Scrapz falls. Quickly, we jump into the trade. It is the Ravens on top of the kill department, 3v2. And the bomb still left to defuse.
And look at Arcides, though. He knows that he has dead silence. The pressure's going to be coming through the back end. You invested to get pushed on forward. It's now they basically flip the map. You're forcing all of the Ravens to waste a lot of time trying to locate where these players are. And the Guerrillas have stepped themselves up to try to clutch this round with only 15 seconds left.
Exceed in such an annoying corner. Is going to know when anybody jumps onto that site, gets the info, gives it over to Arcides. Alec is there to nail him down, make it 2. The perfect setup from Exceed. 2 assists. Does he decide to go for the kill? You bet. Not going to happen. It is the Ravens who get the explosion, who get the kill, but not the round. LAG 3-1 now.
Yeah, that's just a 3v2 situation where London have to play a lot faster. You can't waste a lot of that time roaming around in through Art, checking out back 18. You have to at least put yourself on the bomb so you can play for the information from the site. When you're trying to find these guys, you saw Exceed. He was sitting in towards closed arch. Arcides already gains all the information that they're coming from the backside because he pushes out through open. By the time they get to the bomb, it's only 12 seconds left. A double child comes in, and the Guerrillas are able to take him off of that site. So it's a perfect mid-round adjustment right there from the Guerrillas to take control back in this S&D. Now up 3-1.
Would you say it's comms, Jay, from the Ravens that potentially allow for the play to be so slow?
I would agree. I would think so, because in that situation, you're always trying to locate where it is. Remember, Arcides just got a kill towards the back of the 18-wheeler, so they're probably thinking with him in an AR, he's probably still playing the back of the base. But once he repositions towards open arch, that's the play that they were not ready for, and that eventually would have led to the clutch.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder sometimes, right? When you see slow plays like that, if comms are maybe the primary culprit, very well could have been a situation like that, but solid start here to this round number 5. Ravens with man advantage and with bomb down. LAG are going to have to pull off something crazy if they want to make this one close.
Saul starts it off, though. He's able to take down the first and Scrap. Now, both applying pressure through top rails. Yuli throwing shoulders. Yuli throwing tacks. Not able to take down Joe Thieves. So 2v2 with only 14 seconds left. Still a clutchable round.
I was going to say that's the biggest point of emphasis right now is the time that remains. Thieves versus Asim. And right now, if you're Asim, you can just play the time. Guns, the Røkkr gets the momentum. London right back in it.
Yeah, you find the first blood, you get the bomb down, you hold strong, you trade efficiently on the flank. You waste out a lot of that time for him not even to have the opportunity to stick the defuse. As London, with the aggressive strat on the attacking round, you plan it, you hold your setup, you're able to close out. Now down 3-2. Guerrillas just got to continue to do what you do. Don't be discouraged because they were able to shut down your 2 defensive aggressive push. Continue to play like that. But Asim already on the 3-speed. He's starting to heat up. Ah, that's the cat's curse.
I was going to say in that moment, it's like, all right, Asim, maybe not. Wonderful coordination coming in from the young players of LAG. Thieves with the info. Same thing for Exceed. And
oh my!
Eat that nade. A grenade to the face. As right now for Guerrillas, positive is that while you have lost 2 players, you at least have full control over the bomb. Problem being is that you just never know when a Ravens player is going to strike. Nade tags things up. Assault puts in some solid damage. However, he and his teammate will fall. London, back-to-back rounds.
And that's where the communication right there for London was on point. They were all sitting out through closed arch, through open arch. Everyone was watching each other's back. But once they get that nade over the top, it was definitely like, we get a hit marker. We're both going to go for the double chow. And eventually, at least, the right trade. You catch Thieves trying to flank through the middle of the map. As London picked them apart again on the back of the first blood to tie it up at 3.
We talk so often about first bloods being a crucial factor. Both these teams not great in that category. Then you look at, 2 of the best search destroy teams in the game. FaZe and Vegas, 2 of our best teams at getting the first blood. So often, they put you in a great situation. Based off the records, you can see what both teams maybe need to start to improve on. Ravens, another timely first blood and a second one on top of it, quickly putting this LAG defense on pause.
And now it's all up to the ARs on the side of the Guerrillas. Varsity's position is now going to be known. He puts down a couple shots, not able to finish the kill. So in the 4v2, we have the man advantage. Let's just cross over towards stage. Let's get the bomb down and play the trades. That's exactly what it's going to be. As the retake is potentially going to try to happen.
And well, Arcees, you got to do it all yourself, buddy. All on to you. London, critical work. Wipe away the first 2, and from there, if you're LAG, you're trying to retake. You got 2 of your ARs remaining. Assault's trying to work for some information, and then it is instantly all on to Alec. 1v4. Clinical work from London, Jay. They are starting to wake up. As we said in the opening hardpoint on Fortress, it just never felt like they were in control, maybe a little slow out of the gates. And while it was LAG who were up early, it is now London with 3 rounds in a row. Guerrillas trying to stop what is obviously a lot of momentum currently on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, London is starting to heat up. Starting to read the plays that Guerrillas like to see. As Nastie's able to find another first blood onto Assault. Already a man advantage for London. Just got to play your trades in this scenario. Force them to get that bomb down.
Currently, you're hearing a lot of steps go down. Arcees ends up falling. Exceed, it is all on to him. He has yet to find a kill outside of the ace round. And round number 2, able to put one up on the board. 2 more to go. Great nade, great combination. Exceed ends up finding 2 and somehow has escaped with his life. A 1v3 on the cards. Can Nastie deliver the goods for London, or can Exceed come away with an unbelievable clutch?
And the only thing that hurts him right now is the fact that he has a trophy system in his back pocket, but he puts himself in a position and cannot win the gunfight. As Nastie turns that corner with Daddy popped with the SMG in hand and is able to avoid being on the top 5 clips of the week. Nastie wins the 1-on-1. London now at game point.
It was Nastie, Jay. The last time that these teams played, it went down to a game 5, round 11. Nastie was left in a clutch 1v1 that he had to win. Ends up doing that for the squad. He has been the man with the most ice, it seems like, throughout these teams matching up so far throughout this season, and has it right there. Now on 5 in a row. London winning their last 4 rounds in a row. Can they close out the Guerrillas here? As information is found, Ravens with full control over at that A site. However, LAG ready for any moment that may come about. Scrapz with some cheeky views toward the middle side of the cross. We'll see if Ravens elect to try to go for a B rotation or if this is just strictly for info.
Yeah, Scrapz is getting a lot of information right now for his teammates as the rotation for the bomb is going to be heading over towards B. You set up Scrapz to jump towards the top balk. He finds another first 2 on the round. 4v2, all left up to Assault and Joe Thieves.
Oh, LAG caught sleeping, caught napping, and Ravens fire away 5 rounds in a row. Scrapz, Asim, Yuli, and maybe Nastie, we'll see, all getting up on their feet, hype after a W like that as they desperately needed it. There was some crazy plays off the rip, Jay. Quite a few aces from Joe Thieves, from Exceed. You know, Yuli had some impeccable plays as well. But that is just great work, great teamwork from the Ravens, adapting throughout Fortress. And as we said, catch LAG lacking in that final round.
Yeah, and look at the first blood column. Like, London are usually dead last at finding first bloods on Fortress S&D. They find 8 in this map to close out the map 6-3. It was just those mid-round adjustments, like you said, Lando. On their attacking rounds, when the Guerrillas were able to walk away with a couple of their defenses, that was with the aggression that they were able to set on towards R. We saw Exceed get an ace. We saw Joe Thieves get an ace. But then when you got later into the game and those mid-round adjustments have to come in, London just simply slowed it down. You saw that when the Guerrillas like to be on defense, they like to apply the pressure up through street, they like to jump up in towards the top windows. Every single time they did that in the middle of the game, London shut it down. And they shut it down so many times that in the final round, they knew that the pressure wasn't going to be towards front windows. They allowed Scrapz to slowly push his way up through the truck. He gets all the info that they're playing super back. We can cross over to B. And at that point, it was just too late for the Guerrillas to make any adjustments because London was just simply a step ahead. Great search to destroy to tie the series up at 1. And now we got an Expo control where I don't know who the hell is going to win it. It should be a fun one.
I was getting ready to ask you, I was like, who do you favor? A team that's played it 3 times, lost it all 3 times, or the team that has yet to play it? LAG London, who do you think has the edge, Jay, if you had to pick one?
I think the donut team, right? The team that's yet to play it. We got to be surprised by them, so we'll see.
We'll see indeed. We'll see LAG's first opportunity at an Expo control. Can London finally take one after winning 5 rounds in a row at SD? Can they carry that momentum forward into the swing mode? We will have to find out. It is number 11 versus number 12. Somebody's going to catch a dub, and one team gets officially eliminated from champs today. Stay tuned as the series has only just begun.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck, and upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the CDL.
Hi friends, and welcome back. We're taking a look at a Scuff play of the game from Fortress Search and Destroy. It is round 3, and aBeZy walking away with the crazy ace. In fact, one of which was on his teammate.
Yeah, he walked away with 5 kills on a round. You usually do not see that happen, but he made up for taking his teammate down first, finds the first blood, and then works his way back towards backstage, and then clutches up into 1v2 to secure the round, keep the momentum on London's side. We had multiple aces, but none more felt than aBeZy's in that situation, as London were able to tie this series up by clutching up in the S&D. Now it's 1-1 in the series, anyone's ballgame.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen like 3 aces back to back before in COD history. We need some of our incredible analysts out there to try to break that one down. But something we absolutely have to break down, buddy, is, well, the next game that we're about to have. We're headed toward Control, specifically here on Himmelmatt Expo. 1-6 for London in their last 7 controls, and for LAG, well, they've lost their last 5 controls. Somebody's going to be changing up the stats a little bit.
Yeah, someone's got to change up the stats, because if you're the Guerrillas, thank God you got rid of LSCLO control, because ever since Fortress Control has got eliminated from our maps, they have just been struggling in this mode, man. 1-7 in their last 8 controls. The only victory they have is on LSCLO versus Vegas Legion, who are one of the worst teams that we have in the mode. But now that they find themselves knowing that they're not good at LSCLO, teams are not going to allow them to play Hotel, you have to throw Expo into the mix. So this is going to be a battle, because London, they have quite a few reps on it. They're 0-3, but the biggest thing that they struggle with is the slaying. They find 3 early kills, and now the stack is already going to be at that 8 point.
I was going to say, already off the rip, we're talking about Ravens trying to be better in the slang, and they just instantly team wipe Guerrillas off the start. Just impressive stuff, as you called it, my friend. Right into that A zone we go. 1 capture to their name. We know so far here on Expo, there has definitely been given a much better opportunity for our teams on attack. It's not necessarily been an offensive-sided map up to this point, but definitely get a better chance. Off the rip, in a situation like this, London, excellent job. aBeZy clearing the way for the team, getting ever so closer to the opening zone being done, and there you have it. Clean work from London off the rip, Jay.
That's a perfect start to the round. When you're playing Expo Control, if you can close out the A segment nice and early, extend time by a minute, and only need 1 push to try to break in towards the auditorium, this is exactly how you want to play it. As London doing it in this lane, they're doing it with the map control. Now you allow aBeZy to just simply roam around the backside of the base. He finds another kill. This is the opportunity when London can already try to close this one out.
This is one of the cleaner rounds that we've seen. It feels like this is just going to come to an end very soon, unless somebody from LAG can have an answer, getting outslayed by basically 10 kills so far throughout this round. London with reinforcements. LAG, they can say the same. However, we're almost already there. 1 more zone to go. Can Assault, can Arcees, can anybody have a last stab at it? A few opportunities. It's contestants for the moment. It's up to Exceed. It's up to Scrapz. There we go. London, a quick round 1.
You can just tell London have definitely played this map before. They said we have struggled in the majority of scenarios, majority of categories on this map. But this time we're not going to struggle in the sling as they dominate in the round number 1. You see Asim giving the game plan out, letting them know what we got to do. Just simply, we don't give up A. Like, that's what you need to do on defense. Just don't give up A right off the rip. You can chalk B, because it's a lot more difficult to break a 2-minute setup over towards A side. But the way that the map is now being played out, block the spawns towards the top left, you force them all the way across the map. If you're London, just don't give up that 8 point. You see all of the Guerrillas already attacking over towards B and trying to extend this time.
All right, it just kind of feels like a bit of a mirror effect from round 1 to round 2. London, it just felt like they always had a play brewing from the very start of the round to the end. There was always somebody work on that objective. We'll see if LAG can do the same. So far to kick this one off. 2 ticks to their name, 1 more to go. And yeah, there is not going to be much presence felt. Asim, only player at ear's distance. Thieves absolutely has hurt him. But with that, Guerrillas, plenty of time on the clock, and we will now put Expo to the test. And London lock this one down for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it has to be a 2-minute hold over towards A. You have Yulie and Scrapz already in a great position, blocking those spawns for the Guerrillas, forcing them to overextend through globe side. Your Guerrillas, though, it's all about finding one opportunity, one moment where you can chain a couple kills together. Assault, please puts himself in a great position, but he might have just set up Joe to seize, but he cannot win the gunfight. Nastie with a massive 2-piece to maintain that map control for London.
And it's also a big life, right, for Assault to also remain alive. I mean, as he ends up dropping, I was going to say, really, for the attacking team lately, it just feels like you absolutely need to have some presence around the glass, right? You're relying on your teammates to come off the spawn. You almost need to consistently have like a pinch, pretty much, that you can establish at all times on the attacking side. And really, London did a great job so far of handling business. They were outslid completely over on the top side of the map at stage. So far here at A, towards the diner, glass, everything. They've made this part of the map theirs. Great work once more from Asim. Jay, he is already 13-6.
But this might be scary, though, because the Asim puts the pressure towards globe, so Guerrillas going to get a couple of close spawns. Scrapz is not going to be ready for the push. The Guerrillas are able to find 2. So the last 2 players up, Asim working his way on the flank. Yulie just has to play his life in towards the restaurant because it's already 1 segment done. The Guerrillas just need to find a couple kills and stack the point.
I was going to say, London absolutely can be punished for their aggression. As you said, Asim is working on this flank. It could all be fine if he's able to come away with another. However, he falls. LAG currently with numbers at least for
big
the
win.
moment. Big wins coming in from Yulie. Making some massive gunfights go his way. Scuff play of the game in game 2 and help seal the deal on another massive defensive hold. Has to eat an A, but the job has been done. 35 seconds now left here for the Guerrillas.
Yeah, this is going to be basically the last push coming in from the Guerrillas. Had to try to fight for your street control. Had to try to push out towards Saunas. There's layers of London players that you have to try to get on by. Asim is just playing like a rat. He finds 2, tries to line up the third, but he cannot. RCD's actually is able to find 2. He can find a third. That could be a moment, but Yulie's there for the trade with only 15 seconds left. This is looking like a London lockup on the defense.
Yeah, it looks great. Looks solid so far here from the Ravens. Asim just trying to cut away a final few members. Can he reach 20 kills after the first 2 rounds? May have caster cursed him. That's 2. Can Yulie, is this all really going to fall on to him and to Nastie? Can they make the final play here? They need the rookie to go massive. At least sets up Nastie to find 1. Scrapz on the other. Asim out of the play. LAG still alive. Yulie at 1 HP. They clear the board. London allow for 1 more segment to go the opposite direction, but they are still very much so in the driver's seat. Clinical work all game long, and when it got dicey, they come out on top again.
And that's something for all my ranked play teammates out there. When you're the last player up, pushed up towards the restaurant side, you saw how Yulie, he was trying to play for that gunfight, but he knows that him playing his life is a lot more impactful than him dropping in that scenario. He allows his teammates to come off spawn, contest from the front, and then his opportunity presents itself for him to win that one-on-one. It almost got scary towards the very end, but London are able to clutch up. Now, at 2-0, they're going to switch it up. Not going to go for that early A aggression because you know the Guerrillas going to be set up for it. They're just trying to extend this time, completing B or at all 3.
I don't know about you, Jay, but this just feels like a total turnaround from what we've witnessed on the first 2 maps. Like, it felt like London was not able to handle the aggression on map 1 when they were able to slow things down on Fortress S&D. That's when they really saw a lot of success. But so far in this Expo Control, it has been green light after green light here from the SMGs. You can see Exceed struggling 6-16. One of the Vaznevs from LAG. Joe Deceive struggling mightily at 6-15. It just feels like the pace that was not at all in favor of Ravens off the start now has been really their primary success mode here in game number 3.
Yeah, they are setting the tone, man. They're applying the pressure. SMGs are winning some crucial one-on-ones. But with that being all 4 dead in the feed, you have Assault applying that pressure up through the stage. Exceed flanking through the back, and you don't want to be a little bit over aggressive here. You have to make sure at least someone is going to fill that gap to block that spawn, and it's RCD's going to do that. So right now, Roy Ravens in a headlock. They got to try to break out of their base.
Hey, on the start it was beautiful, and now from that point they are just trapped completely over here at the admin desk, doing what they can. But you see the spawns. Exceed shooting gallery. It's a shooting gallery right now from the Guerrillas. Finally, that nade is somewhat of a beacon of hope if you are the Ravens, but can they do anything with it is going to be the question. Problem being is that you have Arsenes on the bottom side of the map who is ready to beam you from that direction as well. a complete crossfire established. However, Arshani's falls, and now it all falls on to Exceed. Sort of cut off things again. Ravens have not seen that 50-yard line in a while, and it's going to be more time as well.
Oh, and that's another 3 dead. Nastie, the last player alive. All of his teammates spawning over towards Globe again. And Joe Deceives is ready to wreak them havoc, sitting a nice little corner, trying to find the timing. He turned his game around drastically. He was 6-15. Now he's 10-16, earned himself that cruise missile. It's a complete turnaround so far from Joe Deceives, but the London Royal Ravens, they're able to get on the point for now. You have somewhat Sauna control. This might get out of hand. The Guerrillas only have 2 players up. You have to win these gunfights.
Oh, and Joe Deceives gonna have to bring out the cruise missile. I don't know how London have lives left, but they still do. 9, make it 8 men strong, avoiding the cruise. They've got 3 players here. We'll see what they can do with it. They need to pause the time as quick as possible. Scrapz trying to lay down some cover fire over the top. Very much so on Overwatch, watching that pool, making sure that Joe Deceives cannot advance any further. Nastie with another massive one. Joe Deceives, assault, actually able to tag away at 3. It's now all on to Maddie.
Yeah, this is over. This is over. Scrapz is the only player alive. He thought that his teammates are going to be able to find that player on towards the point. But all of his teammates dropping. The Guerrillas should have set themselves up to walk away with this defensive round. Scrapz trying to be the last hero, the last playmaker. He does find 2, but eventually that time is not on their side. Guerrillas hold strong. They put them in the crucifix of a spawn trap towards back globe. And eventually that leads to them finally getting around on the board.
Yeah, you can come up with whatever like wrestling term you want, a full Nelson, whatever. They were absolutely in a headlock, as you said, in the backside of the spawn. Like, I was just confused that like the Ravens actually had some lives going into the ending stages. Like everybody from LAG, you could tell, were just letting out quite a bit of frustration. So many losses in a row. They finally had their opportunity to really make the Ravens pay. And as we said, it is their first time on Expo. It's been a problematic first 2 rounds, but in round 3, they finally struck their stuff. They didn't have to invest a cruise missile to close things out, but they very well could have another streak inbound soon if Assault can find 2 more.
And early on, Guerrillas are applying a lot of pressure over towards A. That's already 1 segment in. Asim does find a kill, but you know the positioning of Scrap. You take this player down, the potential stack is going to be in, but that's 2 segments already done. If you're London, you cannot give this one up for free. Asim tries to go for the chow. Now it's Scrap's turn, but that's going to be A, done and dusted. Are these guys like the same team in different rounds? Like, what is going on? 2 minutes and 13 seconds. The Guerrillas just need 1 opportunity to break in towards the auditorium.
Yeah, LAG just captured that in basically record time. Like, you could tell the timings were definitely off there from London. Like, they try to go for a last-second heave, and as they all jumped forward, the point had already been captured. Maybe a moment of miscommunication or just an odd play toward the stretch, but London able to put a few away in a row. And maybe they're trying to do the exact same thing that LAG did to them. Put them in a spawn trap and make them have to work for every single bit of map positioning. As Nastie now on 6, he's going to have a cruise. So we're talking about really utility arsenal for both squads. It is the red-headed fiend who's going to have something to work with throughout the remainder of the game.
He's taking over so far in this control. Guerrillas have somewhat auditorium control. There's 3 players in towards the point. Scrapz finds 1. The trade is going to be there, but right now, if you're the Guerrillas, you're taking this opportunity. You would try to do as much as you can before you get cut down. Asim does take down 2. The London look like they're going to be able to hold the first line of defense, but you're keeping the scrappy in towards the point. Exactly what you want if you are Guerrillas.
A good job so far. It is just absolute chaos here over at stage, over at the auditorium. Finally, as the dust begins to settle, the Ravens get a bit of semblance. It feels like slow the game down. They are up when it comes down to lives, but LAG have been able to maximize their kills up to this point. 4 segments. It takes 6 to close out the game, and that is 2 picks that you absolutely need. With that being the case, it now puts pressure on players like Asim to try to go big. Last player alive! Getting taken down. Great work from Joe Deceives. Here comes Guerrillas. Back onto the point they go.
And that's already 2 segments in. It's a 3-stack going, so usually you have to get going. Unfortunately, the nade comes back and hits you in the lip. As the stack is still gonna be here, trays back and forth. They're actually able to take him down. Asim goes massive. It's a 1-on-1 in the point. Guerrillas able to clutch up. What the hell just happened?
Alec was the last player alive. I think he just goes for a dolphin dive. Made his way through the backstage, the employee exit, hops right in, gets the last small bit of progress. And the chaos in that moment, I think the Ravens felt like they had everybody found, or maybe they just could not figure out where Arshnies was in that team fight, but he just jumps in, gets the last bit of progress, and after what was a very solid first 2 rounds from London, has turned into 2 straight rounds from LAG, as now we have got a round 5. And strap in, everybody. Who knows how this is going to go, Jay? This has been wild control so far.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're London, it's easy to go capture over towards B. We got to get A out of the way, though, because once LAG able to find a couple kills, they're going to put you in that spawn trap, which is very difficult to get out. They already find 3, and they might already put you in the crucifix. This is not the best opportunity for the Ravens. You have to break out of your spawn. At least Scrapz wins his one-on-one. He's able to stop that clock, slowly working up that progression over towards B.
You could tell from LAG, they were all guns ablaze, looking toward the spawn, and they're like, wait a second. There's somebody capturing an objective. There's somebody inside of our base. Scrapz absolutely goes unaware for a little while, so that is 1 segment off the board already. If you are the Ravens, you'll take that, especially at this stage of the game. As we said, yet to win an Expo control so far throughout the year, 0-3, and this would absolutely be the most painful one of the year if they were going to lose it after going up 2-0. But starting to establish a bit of control, some map positioning, as they're able to make their way into A. They've lost a few players in the process, but they are stopping that time.
Stop that time. The first segment is about to come in. You did lose Nastie over towards Sauna's side, so you can allow the Guerrillas to put that pressure on the left side of the map, find the break. They take down Yuli. They're able to hold strong over towards A. London is trying to find an opportunity to close out this 8 point, at least set up a couple kills to go in their favor. Nastie's going to invest that cruise missile, all the information overload. It's time for a team to attack. He does take down 1, but the cruise missile does not take down the player over towards Sauna's. 23 seconds left. Guerrillas have to just keep on holding on.
I feel like you're waiting for that streak to come in, do a bit of splash damage. It does not. Ravens beginning to strike out, but they've still got another chance. Another opportunity. Into the B zone we go. Asim's lying in wait, but he gets picked apart. Asim is there to find him. However, it's Exceed on the flank. Doing some damage. Oh, it's a big one. They're on to Yuli. Time paused. 3.3. A second tick gained. Exceed trying to put in some work, and Asim's off the spawn. Nastie. Sole player inside of the point. He's got Scrapz watching his back. Can London hold on? It looks like they will. Another minute added as we continue to go back and forth.
And now it's all about the fight over towards Street. Yuli invests that dead silence. Potentially is going to have the timing onto Assault. Arshnies wins 1 onto Asim, but the most important gunfight is this one towards the back. Yuli knows that he has to take his time. All of his teammates are approaching that flank, but just finding an opening up to the street side is everything that you need to do to try to complete over towards A. Time is starting to tick, and so for the Guerrillas, they're finding all the right kills at the right time.
Oh, will Yuli try to go for a turn? You could tell for a moment the Ravens, they were trying to track down Arshnies. They were never able to find him. Nastie goes for a turn on 32 and 21, but these are the kills that matter. Scrapz puts down another. A few members from Ravens beginning to flank their way through glass. Cole spawns now for LAG. Time beginning to come a factor as now Scrapz trying to stay up for the team. Asim puts through another. 10 seconds to go.
Just gotta get on the point. You gotta get on the point. You gotta win the gunfight. You do not. That's 3 dead in the feed. London only have 5 seconds. You have to stop the time.
Can they do it? Nastie, a last minute, a heroic opportunity, but it could be heartbreak, and it will be heartbreak here on Himmelmat. As LAG answer back with 3 rounds in a row and hand London their 4th straight loss here on Expo. They had it, Jay. They could feel it. And instantly it is taken away. Guerrillas answer back here in another respawn.
They had opportunities, man. You're up 2-0. You clutch up on an attacking round. You go back on defense. You allowed the Guerrillas to get that momentum early on by completing A. And what they need is 1 break over towards B. Clean round from them. But then when you were on your attacking round, When you decided to go over towards that B point and instantly get shut down, Guerrillas get all the kills. They put you in that trap. You allowed them to earn some streaks, allowed them to change the game as it was going forward. And at that point, it was too late to respond, man. It was one segment that was the difference between attacking to defense in that final round. And with Arseny's belly flopping over towards the stage, he's able to complete it, secure defense for his team, allow his SSGs to roam around. But what a turnaround from aBeZy and JoeDeceives. They did not have the best start to this game. They were sitting at like 6 and 15, but JoeDeceives goes on a streak to earn himself a cruise. aBeZy gets massive two-piece after two-piece in those final moments to eventually close out this game for the Guerrillas. We told you it was going to be intense. We didn't know it was going to go to a round number 5, but somebody was going to get their first one on Expo, and it was the Guerrillas to take it to now go up 2-1 in the series.
Oh my God, man. That was, I don't even know how you summarize a map like that. Like, that was just utter chaos from start to finish. London out of the gates. LAG put them in a spawn trap. They get some momentum. Then it is just wild plays in round 4, and especially here in round 5. Goes down to the absolute wire as LAG full momentum now. And maybe, who knows, man? This could be a bet they start to add to the rotation. They definitely got plenty of reps when it came down to their first opportunity at it. 5 rounds, you'll take it at this point in the season. But now LAG find themselves up 2-1, trying to make it 3 for 3 in the respawns, as Hotel will be our final resting place for this series, whether it ends in a game 4 or if it goes down to a game 5, which is the prediction that you made, Jay, coming into this series. You said that you feel like it had the chance to get to a game 5 based off of what you've seen so far with the map coming up next. Do you still feel like that is very much so on the cards?
Oh yeah, without question, man. Because for both of these teams, it's not really the best hard point. 2 and 5 on the side of London. They haven't played this map since February 24th. The last time they played it was versus Atlanta FaZe. So it's been quite some time that they were able to spawn in on the Hotel. And on the opposite side, for the Guerrillas, they have a 2-7 record, and they're basically dead last in every single statistic category. When you talk about hold percentage, they're 11th. Break percentage, they're 11th. Rotation, they are 12th. But if this series is going to tell us anything of how this map's going to go, we saw it in the map number 1 hard point. The Guerrillas were actually a step ahead in a couple of these rotations. So with them being dead last, you can throw that out the window. The practice has definitely been showing so far in this series. And if they can win rotations, just like they did on map number 1, they should have the opportunity to close it out in 4.
Yeah, we're talking about strategies. Obviously, like you said, what LAG did in that opening hard point. Who are players that you're looking out for? Who's going to end the streak of 10 games in a row from LAG? On the flip side, who from London can force the game 5?
Well, we saw what JoeDeceives was able to do on map number 1, but that's Fortress. On a map like Hotel, I think the biggest guy that I'm looking at is the leader of this team. I'm looking at Arseny's, a guy who will put himself in a lot of these power positions, hold down these head glitches, and just absolutely beam with the AR. So I'm looking at Arseny's to be that guy early off the rotation, winning those one-on-one gunfights, and just being the guy to change the game for his roster.
Oh, I gotta say, man, I love seeing a smile coming in from Arseny's. I know after the loss that they just recently suffered versus Florida, went down to a game 5, round 10. He tweeted out, hey, I have to find the fun in me again. It's been a rough season. I have to make the game feel fun. And I'm sure after a W like that, after a round crazy game number 3 like that, it's got to make you feel pretty good. But you can see from the team, smiles are out from LAG. Like we said, a team that you would not be able to tell was on a 10-game losing spree. But I know we're talking about the Guerrillas, we're talking about Arseny's, but who do you feel like, Jay, from the Ravens could be the difference maker? One player.
I feel like Scrapz. It has to be Scrapz. Scrapz is a guy, whenever he plays against the Guerrillas in hardpoint, he usually has that takeover mode. A 1.24 in this head-to-head matchup. Didn't really have the best performance on maps 1 and 3, but he's a guy who could definitely respond on this map number 4 to try to go head-to-head versus Arseny's.
Yeah, we'll see it absolutely go down to many of our ARs that we'll be seeing put on display. Plenty of attacks when it comes down here to Hotel. We're talking about sprees. We're talking about streaks. London trying to end a 5-game losing spree here on the HPs. And as we said, Matty Marshall, the player to look out for here of the Ravens. That's player 7 for LAG. Purple team looking at player number 3. Into the games we go. LAG starting off with the early time. 9 uncontested points as both teams battle for the right side of the screen.
Yeah, we know how this P1 is going to be. It's always scrappy. It's always a fight for that next hard point. Those gunfights going into that spawn towards the back of the stage. That's going to be the Guerrillas finding 3 though. And instantly applying the pressure is going to be aBeZy. So he's able to flip those spawns. Close one does come in for Jodeci's. So it's a 2v3 across the map. And he's not slowing down. He finds another before he does get traded by Yuli. But now Yuli's the only player here from London. Guerrillas flawless off the rotation after a great P1 hardpoint.
We're starting to see, I mean, really, the Guerrillas. So we felt like we could see the SMGs confident as you like, and really for the rest, it is setting up the teammates quite nicely. Arcenies and Assault, I was gonna say feet kicked up, but Assault's absolutely been having plenty of fun over at P1. That's 4 in a row for him. 5-1 from aBeZy, 3-1 for Jodeci's, and the time continues to go their way. London, we gotta find a break soon.
Yeah, they're trying to set up the perfect break, but all the time that they just wasted, Guerrillas knew exactly where the pressure was coming in. At least one player from London stays alive, allows that spawn to come in through the back end so they could potentially set up a pinch. Drays go back and forth, but it's going to be London coming out on top with the final 20 seconds. But yeah, finally, thank God you're able to get some time on the clock. Now off the rotation, this is where you have the opportunity to chain it over towards kitchen. If your teammates win a couple of those gunfights, you're going to be set up nice and early to make yourself a nice little pot roast.
Exactly right, my friend. They have plenty of fun inside of the kitchen as they will be here early, but they do lose a few chefs on the way. The sole man inside is going to be Asim. Pot in the pan is really all the fun that he's going to have. An LAG, after what looked like a horrible opportunity for a rotation victory, goes their way in about the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that just can't happen if you are London. You have multiple players in towards the kitchen. You try to push that toward the backside, not knowing where any players are from the Guerrillas are. And when you apply that pressure, you lose all your one-on-ones. You leave Asim by himself, and the break is already instantly in. This is just like the P2 to P3 on map number 1. It's the P2 to P3 on Hotel this time around, as Guerrillas are not slowing down in the slaying. Already breached that 100-point mark. You're forcing London to hit that rotation nice and early.
I see why they were smiling, Jay. They apparently know something that we don't. Maybe they faced off against Ravens in a recent scrimmage, because they are having a ball, having a blast right now here on Hotel, up by over 100. As we are just heading into P4, this has got to change up. If you are the Ravens, you got to get your head on straight. Be prepared. Cannot afford to lose this game. Go out in a game 4, as we said. Champs' hopes on the line. A very slim hope at that, but still one nonetheless. aBeZy, oh my God, I don't know how he didn't clean up Asim there in that moment, but gets a bit of assistance. In the bar we go. It's chaos. LAG, another break. They've got plenty of bodies here, Jay.
Yeah, they're applying the pressure through the front side. They know that all of London is swanning out towards back spa. We win a couple key gunfights. We can trap them in towards the back and continuously grow this lead. There's only 25 seconds remaining over towards double death. She does one player early off the rotation. It's going to be Yuli. A huge one-on-one between him and Arcenies, but it's still the Guerrillas walking away with this final couple of seconds. They're just trying to close this series out now.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Thank God for London that you've got a few players prepared over at the restaurant, because you really didn't do much over at bar at all. I mean, it just looked like numerous players were like getting tagged up, running out in the middle of fire. It looks like comms are not really there right now from London. We'll see if that can begin to change up. Daddy Marshall trying to set the tone for the rest of the squad. He's been known to do that here in the map and also on social media from time to time on a 3 spree as he rotates over to the restaurant with the rest of the squad mates. Down by less than 100, but LAG continue to toy away that much further. Very much so. Still alive, still thriving. Back and forth we go. London, they need the seconds, but now they are not getting them.
Yeah, they're not getting any time as Guerrillas applied the pressure through mid-arch. They were getting those close balls towards Shandy. They're able to come out on top in these trays. Jodeci's, you gotta slow him down. Assault said, slow down, buddy. You're going too rogue right now. I gotta take you down for now. But at least the Guerrillas are in full control of this hard point. They were able to flip those spawns going over towards the flat hill. You got a couple streets to work with. The SMGs are both double positive. This is just getting nasty. And I'm not talking about London nasty. The scoreline is nasty. Guerrillas are 90 seconds away from closing out this series.
Yeah, we're not talking about the plum bridge. We're talking about the gameplay on our screens. I mean, in that last hill, Jay, we had LAG get like 2 or 3 team kills in one team fight, and they still broke the hard point.
Yeah.
No idea how that is possible, but as we said for London, you need this time, and they are not even getting that. They have the rotation, and now LAG seem to have broken them again. A headbutt toward the top side of parking. Nastie finally hops inside of the objective, and the Slays finally go their way. 4 down, thank God.
Final 20 should definitely go in favor of the Ravens. There's no way in hell you should get broken in this situation, especially with his team roaming around into his bedroom. He finds 6 in a row and earned himself that cruise missile. Could potentially be the spark. But London trying to fight back into this hard point to force a game number 5. He's not slowing down. They're finding all the kills in the feed, and now they're only down by 80 points. They can chain it. If they can get some good time off of this P1, they're right back into this game.
And look at what happens, right, when you get the final 20 seconds of scrap. Look at that. Look what happens to the scoreline. London still fighting a big gunfight for Asim to win. However, he eventually does fall off of that spree, a crucial one that London needed, and they're able to get it. But so many more things have got to go the Ravens' way. They want to try to improve that stat line, and this is really where, Jay, the game got out of hand in the first set of rotations. It was like a clean 45, 50 points after P1. Assault went on an incredible streak, cutting down the forces, and now it feels like somewhat of a similar story. LAG with the time, and it's currently a massive battle in the back. Player 5, player 3 battling for lobby.
They're taking so long to try to break this P1 hill, though, that if LAG are able to walk away with these gunfights, they know that they're in control of the spawn, especially with you swanning over towards Shandy. There has to be a player in towards the back. So can they sniff out the positioning of Yuli, or do they completely just disregard him and focus on his teammates? That might be their focus right now, as they get a good chunk of time off for that P1, only 50 seconds away from them closing out the series.
I appreciate what Yuli's doing, but it's just like, buddy, you might just have to jump.
Come on, let's go.
I don't know if they're going to arrive. I don't know if they're going to get here or not. You're on your bike, trying to jump inside of the hard point. Does it work out? No, not going to happen. Yuli waited a lifetime for his teammates to jump in from the front. They fall. He actually spawns in the back again and ends up getting taken down once more. 30 points away, or LAG from locking up what has been a dominant game 4.
Oh, all they need is 26 more points. They cannot win it here, but you can still contest this. Because with the lead that they have, they know they can fight for every single ounce of scrap time. They don't have to commit fully off the rotations. It's only going to be Nastie here over towards Kitchen, and he eventually does fall. The rest of his teammates all the way across the map. They do get a couple close spawns, though, so it's only Jodeci's here. What can the rookie do?
I like him in spots like this, though. I love him to be in positions like this one. Close quarters, maybe near that extinguisher. Definitely love to be in a spot like that. However, cruise missile comes in. Asim able to find one. Solid as you like. Finds 2, and that very well could be the game, Jay.
Yeah, this is the game. This is the game. London have one more opportunity to break in. They're all getting cut down. Final 2 players here to contest.
4 more points. Arsty's going on a spree. It looks like this is it. The last few kills coming in, and LAG have broken the streak. After 10 losses in a row, the COD gods smile favorably on them today. Perfect in the respawn. Some heroics there on the expo. They carry that momentum on to a hotel hardpoint that, quite frankly, was never close. 250 to 104, our final tally. I don't know, Jay, who you want to point out, but I just feel like it was Jodeci again, who was just an absolute problem there for the Ravens.
Yeah, Jodeci took over in the hardpoints. Like, he did it in map number 1, goes like 36 and 21, absolutely takes over, sets the turn early on of how this series is going to go. You fall short in the search to destroy because the mid-round adjustments from the Ravens were too strong, and you allowed them to get 8 first blood versus 1. You're never going to win S&Ds like that if you're always the team in the disadvantage. But the biggest map was that Expo Control. First time we see the Guerrillas on it, they were down 0-2. They slowly started to fight back, have a couple clutch rounds, and then when they needed to clutch up at the very end, it was Jodeci and Exceed to turn their game around on that Control to close out the map. And then in that final one, it was an absolute smoke show. Every single time London thought that they had a rotation, Guerrillas were instantly there to break it. And that's why you see the scoreline the way that it was. They were in full control from start to finish of that map, number 4. They were in full control of this series from start to finish. They're able to close out in a 3-1 and avoid the longest CDL loser streak in CDL history.
Yes, went off the brow. I think it was Davis who was talking about how their next few games did not look favorably at all. So LAG and the streak here for London. Unfortunately, a losing streak now begins for that team. But that's going to do it for myself and Jay. First game out of the way, and it is the Guerrillas coming out on top. Take it away, Desk.
It's getting crazy already. LAG, the 11th seed, stays strong and will keep the 11th seed after today's matchup 3-1. We didn't have to go to a game 5.
Yeah, we almost did. I thought maybe we were going to, but LAG clutch up the control. I think that was the biggest map in this series.
All right, we are just 2 weeks away from Toronto. LAG still playing for a piece of the $500,000. If they're going to take a big chunk, what do they want to repeat from today's games?
Yeah, it's got to be the ice, especially in the control, as Ali just touched on. If you go deep into context of LAG, last stage qualifier, they had so many close games, controls on a CeeLo, hard points coming down to the wire, search and destroy rounds that they choked. This time, they ice up when they need to, and they can bring that momentum into the game 4. They have explosive players. You talk about a guy like Joe Thieves. He's been putting up some crazy maps.
He's snapping.
I mean, he's been snapping throughout this series. So, like, I remember that Minnesota game. He just going absolutely nuts. So they have the players who can take over in the respawns, and that's how they have to get it done. Obviously, this is versus the London Royal Ravens. People are dubbing this the Blow It Up Bowl. But we did see some potential out of LAG if they're going to play with some confidence and not give up. It looks like they haven't given up, especially with a performance like that. So I'm excited to see if they can play spoiler going.
What happened to London in this game 4, Ali? Because this was a nail-biter series, and then all of a sudden the haymaker from the Guerrillas. Nastie, who was leading his team in game 3, 1,100 damage. That's like half of what I do in a ranked game, and I'm bad.
I mean that happens. I think there was 2 things that happened there in that game 4 for the London Royal Ravens. One, they just got come back down when they were up 2-0 in the Expo control. So obviously there's some mental checking happening in that situation, as well as this was both of these teams' worst hardpoint map and mode combination. So it really was just momentum based.
Smoke today were the London Royal Ravens. They are still in 12th place, looking for wins before we get to Toronto. Before we get to the next match, quick reminder, start your digital collection today with the 2021 Call of Duty League trading cards by Upper Deck, the official trading card partner of the CDL. Collect your favorite teams and players on upperdeckepack.com or scan that QR code. And while you're scanning things, well, keep your phone out and go to shop.callofduty.com. Get your jerseys, hoodies, and more. Ali, which one are you rocking these days?
A Toronto Ultra one. I just love the big leaf in the middle of it.
And that's where we're going next. Get your jerseys right now. Wear it in front of everybody. When we come back, we've got your second match here on our day. Actually, Joe was able to call through. Let's go to Mr. Deceives live. Joey, how are we feeling? The 10-match streak finally over. You guys get the dub today over the 12th seed.
Yeah, I'm just happy we won a series, bro, to be honest. It felt good. Our hard points looked, no disrespect, but it was London, but, we did look a lot better in hard points today.
You did, especially that game 4.
You really did.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I'm glad we get to talk to you because I feel like, obviously it's been a long time. 10 series, congratulations on your win,
Yeah,
but you are arguably I'm pretty sure the youngest player in the league right now. So I want to ask kind of what this experience has been like for you, especially being plugged into a team that's been kind of searching for answers to fix their problems previous to this iteration of this roster.
Yeah, because obviously coming up, right, I came into Challengers, I pretty much won Cup, qualified for the Pro-Am, and won the Major, so obviously losing wasn't something I was used to, so going on a 10-loss streak, it was definitely eye-opening, I guess I could say. But like I said, happy we finally won. I don't know. It's just, I feel like today we finally put it together in a match. I think me especially, I feel like I haven't been replicating my scrims to matches as much, but I feel like I did better today. So.
Joe, you've been an absolute beast, a rock star for this team, taking over games in the respawn. It's been a pleasure to watch you, especially being so young. I want to ask you though, I talked to your teammates, after the last stage qualifier. They talked about how in clutch situations you guys just had absolutely no ice, and it will lead to you guys losing the next map and things of that nature, and that they believe that you guys are a way better team. Well, in this series, you guys clutch up in that game 3, and we see a wonderful performance in the game 4. What is that? Is it confidence? You guys just clutch up and you feel like you can dominate anybody? Talk to me about it.
I don't know. So obviously every series we've played, right? Even going back to Major 2 where we played FaZe, we threw maps, we were choking maps, no matter what team we played. We would always play good teams very close. Even we would see 3-0s out of us, but if you watch the maps back, it's always close.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it came down to, you said, clutching, icing up sometimes, and it just didn't happen. But now, I guess today, we went down 0-2 to control, and we came back and won it. I think if we can keep doing that, we'll hopefully make a run for something.
Joe, I want to just mirror what Ant said there. It's been awesome to watch you here in your rookie year at the CDL, the youngest player in the league, but you guys are out of the running for champs. So what are you personally playing for with the remaining games as we head into Toronto?
For me, I mean, obviously, like, the money, like, just try to get something, right? But also, like, even though we're out of the running, I mean, I'm still trying to learn. Like you said, I'm the youngest player in the league. Like, I have a lot to learn, no matter what, even if I'm out of champs. Like, it's just something, you know, even going into next year, I want to learn as much as I can, like, become the best I can.
Love it, Joe. You're going to be here for a while. I have a feeling about that one. LAG and Joe Deceives get our first win of the day. We'll let him go and rejoin the team. But we got to come back with another matchup on the day. A big one here. Florida needs to stay perfect. Technically still in the running. They take on Boston when we come back.